Hello and welcome to Untwisted Threads. This is Lana Grossa Setasuri. This 69% Suri alpaca, 31% silk yarn features 60 colors. The colorway that we chose is 62 Umber. This 25-gram skein with 212 meters or 233 yards works up as a lace weight yarn. The suggested gauge on a US 4 to 6 or 3.5 to 4 millimeter needles is 26 stitches and 33 rows per 4 inches or 10 centimeters. For our swatch, I'll be holding it double and using a 4.5 millimeter needle size. In today's video, we're going to review and score Lana Grossa Setasuri using our 5 categories, which are availability, softness, traction, durability, and cost, to help you decide if this is the best yarn for you and your next project. Stay tuned until the end for a few pattern recommendations as well. Would you like to feel a sample of our top picks out of over 100 yarns that we have reviewed on this channel? Click the link below to get your free specialty yarn card, knitting patterns, and more. Let's get started. For availability, we give Setasuri a score of 4 out of 5. Lana Grossa was founded in 1972 and produces its yarn from top Italian spinning mills. This particular yarn is most readily available from Lindy Hobby, but also on Amazon, Webs, Lovecrafts, and a few other small shops who ship here from both Europe and in the United States. For softness, we give it a score of 4.8 out of 5. To start, I was a little surprised with the shape of this skein. It's not your typical ball or hank, it looks like folded yarn. I think by seeing it, you probably get the idea. Anyways, this yarn feels very nice and high quality, not plasticky or squeaky. It has a great amount of fluff that didn't fly all over the place when working with it. It has a core of silk that is not shiny, which I think makes it look more seamless and cohesive, and then the alpaca is all brushed out to make it super fuzzy, which I think they have definitely succeeded in making it fuzzy. So unlike mohair, which the fibers tend to stick straight out away from its core, this one is a lot more rounded in shape. For a comparison, it is softer than Drops alpaca and not quite as soft as Issachar Soft Fine. I'd say it's pretty comparable to Sandnes Garn Brushed Alpaca. For a micron count or softness scale rating, perhaps due to the brushed nature of this yarn, we think it's softer than your typical alpaca yarn at around an 18. Now, for some reason, I noticed the very slightest bit of irritation on my sensitive skin, but it wasn't enough that it would keep me from working with this yarn again. If you are sensitive to wool yarns, or more specifically alpaca, I absolutely recommend making a swatch with this one first and trying it out before you make an entire garment with it. For traction, we give it a score of 4 out of 5. For being a fluffy or halo kind of yarn held double, it actually wasn't awful to work with. The longer alpaca fibers did have a slight amount of drag on my nickel-plated needles. I will mention that in knitting my swatch that my needles got caught once in between the fibers, so I do recommend making sure that you're watching your stitches as you're working with it. For durability, we give it a score of 4.5 out of 5. Alpaca actually stands up better to everyday wear compared to wool. Similar to Peruvian Highland wool, because of the harsh environments of Peru and in the Andes, alpaca wool is much hardier than, say, a merino. This one also contains a small silk content for its core, which is also a very durable fiber. When it came to the stress test, it actually had some horizontal pilling or fiber collection, something that I've never seen before. Nevertheless, the overall amount of pilling was very small. For cost, we give it a score of 4.1 out of 5. For being a 25-gram skein, you can expect to pay $7.40 US per skein. This breaks down to about 3 cents per yard, meaning a size medium sweater quantity would cost approximately $44, not including an additional second strand of yarn if you choose. I found that this price is much more affordable if you purchase from overseas and have it shipped here. Overall, we give Lana Grossa Setasuri a score of 4.28 out of 5. Now, what more is there to say about a Suri alpaca yarn? This one is soft, fairly accessible, has a wonderful range of colors, and I think it could be a great mohair alternative. It will definitely be a yarn that I work with again when I find the right project. So we had a little look on Ravelry and wanted to share a few pattern recommendations with you, hopefully to inspire you if you're wanting to use this yarn for a project of your own. The first pattern is the Brioche Bliss Wrap Cardigan by Simone Ryan. It comes in 10 sizes with finished bust measurements ranging from 33 1/4 to 68 inches and recommends 1 3/4 to 4 1/4 inches of positive ease. It suggests using 2 strands of lace weight yarn and a US 4 or 6 millimeter needle in the brioche stitch to meet gauge. The wrap is worked seamlessly from the top down with distinctive saddle shoulders, promising a unique and flattering fit. The yoke and body are worked in rows while simultaneously working the double knit edges, and the sleeves are worked in the round. It features the squishy and light brioche stitch pattern and a cropped or full length option. The next pattern is the Minou scarf by Luisa Rehkopf. It comes in 3 sizes, headband, scarf, and shawl, and measures 33 1/2, 40, and 55 1/2 inches in length, and 2, 5, and 14 inches in width. It suggests using a US 6 or 4 millimeter needles with 1 strand of sport and 1 strand of lace weight yarn in the designated stitch pattern to meet gauge. It is worked lengthwise from one pointed edge to the other with alternating half fisherman's rib stitch and cables. The pattern instructions for all 3 versions only differ in the repetitions of increases and decreases, as the middle part is knitted lengthwise with a straight section in between. The last pattern is the Mia sweater by Cheryl Mokhtari. It comes in 6 sizes with finished bust measurements ranging from 43 to 55 1/2 inches and recommends 9 1/2 to 10 1/2 inches of positive ease. It suggests using a US 2 1/2, 4, and 6 or 3, 3 1/2, and 4 millimeter needle size with 1 strand of lace and 1 strand of fingering weight yarn to meet gauge. It is worked from the top down with raglan increases and the edges worked in twisted rib. It features short row shaping along the yoke and a broken rib stitch pattern on the sides, sleeves, and bottom of the body. It was designed to be a roomy and elegant everyday sweater. Have you used Lana Grossa Setasuri yarn before? What yarn would you like for us to do a review on next? We would love to hear your thoughts and recommendations in the comments below. And if you enjoyed today's review, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time.